Hello everyone, this is Not with a K from godlikeproductions.com. Now I am going to tell you about how the jet set roof collapse was a sacrifice for Pope Leo's papacy, and how Final Destination Bloodlines led me deeper into that realization, and how there was another roof collapse in Peru that was part of this ritual. And feel free to pause and read and mute my voice if you want to do that. That's cool, but for now I'll just basically read it to you. So yeah, I was watching Final Destination Bloodlines, and I realized that there's a black guy in there named Leon, okay? And the Tin Soldier movie, that was released on Leo's election date on the internet, and I think in real life on 5/9. And in that movie, there's a cult leader named Leon, a black guy. And Final Destination Bloodlines came out 9 days from that movie on Leo's 7 days from that movie. The Friday before Pope Leo's inauguration on 5/18. So Final Destination Bloodlines came out on 5/16. Leo was inaugurated on the Sunday of 5/18, and the Saturday between those two dates is 5/17, which is the date of the tragedy that happened in the first Final Destination movie, and in the second Final Destination movie, it happened again on the same date a year later in the movie. And this Final Destination Bloodlines was released 5/16, and Pontiff equals 5/16. Okay, so in Final Destination Bloodlines, there is a structural failure, and the building collapses. Okay, that is the main mass death event. And there is a black band playing a very, passionate, animated, big build black guy singing in the building that collapses. Okay? And this shit is crazy, so just hold on to your horses. Okay, so in Jet Set, the club that collapsed, the roof collapsed, killing 236 people. In Santo Domingo this year on 4/8, in that club, there was a black guy that was built, a big build, just like the black guy in the movie Final Destination Bloodlines. This guy, Ruby Perez, was the one performing that night at the club. And he looks just like the guy who is performing in the movie, in the building that falls in the movie. Okay. And again, there's the black guy, the college professor of the main character. His name is Leon, which led me to thinking about that this movie was part of this whole ritual. And then I realized that the family in the movie is split between two races, okay? And the one side of the family is Spanish. Their last name is Reyes, which means kings or king, often with a religious connotation. And Pope Leo's last name, Prevost, or technically it would be pronounced Prevost. His last name means king or leader. And his dad's side of the family is white, just like the mom's side of the family in the movie. And Pope Leo's mom's side of the family is, they came from the Caribbean islands, I think. They're the Spanish side. And the white side of the family in Final Destination Bloodlines, their last name is Campbell, which means crooked mouth. And Pope Leo has a crooked mouth. And there's rumors that he even had his jaw broken when he was serving in Peru, which affected his smile for the rest of his life. But obviously, you can tell he's got a crooked smile. And in this movie, the white side has a name, Campbell, that means crooked mouth. And the Spanish side has the name Reyes, which means kings. And he is a king with a crooked mouth, Pope Leo. Okay. In the jet set roof collapse happened in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, which is exactly where Pope Leo's grandfather is from. That's where he migrated from to Chicago, and then had Pope Leo's mom. All right. And like I said, Pope Leo, he served in Peru for the bulk of the time, for like 10 years, I think he was in Peru. The bulk of the time that he was in South America, he was in Peru. And that is where the other roof collapse happened on 2/21. Okay, that killed 6. All right. Now, get to some numbers here. Ruby Perez, the one performing in Jet Set when it collapsed, he was 69 years old, just like Leo is. And he was born on 3/8, March 8th. And death equals 38. And there's 38 days from Ruby Perez's death in Jet Set on 4/8 to 5/16, the release of Final Destination Bloodlines. That's also 1 month, 8 days. And Pope Leo's grandfather from Santo Domingo was born on 1/8, January 8th. Okay. The girl's college professor in Final Destination Bloodlines, his name is Leon. She sends him a email, and it shows her titling the email in the movie as Death in the Family, which equals 960. And the Vatican is 96 years old. Jesus Christ equals 906. Holy Spirit equals 906. The actor who plays Leon is from the tribe of Ashanti in real life in Africa. Ashanti equals 249. Pope Leo XIV equals 249. All right. The place where the Jet Set nightclub was in Santo Domingo was called, the little section of their town was called the Portal, which equals 690. And it was a sacrifice to thin the veil to access demonic power from the other side, to bring that demonic power to fuel Pope Leo's papacy with the life force energy released by all that death. And the numbers surrounding the ritual are like guidelines telling that energy where to go. Nightclub equals 96. Jet Set was a nightclub. Jet Set nightclub equals 175, just like the date in Final Destination, the first two movies, 5/17, when the accidents happened. So the Jet Set roof collapsed on 4/8. Pope Leo equals 84. His grandfather died on 7/31 in 1926. That was 98 years from the Jet Set roof collapse, which happened on the 98th day of the year. That's also 98 years, 9 months, 8 days from his grandfather's death, 7/31, to Leo's election on 5/8. So if you take away the years and just go from his grandfather's last death anniversary last year to Leo's election would be 9 months, 1 week, 1 day, 911. 7/31 is 8 months and 8 days from 4/8, the 7/31 last year. 8 months and 8 days, like Pope Francis's death age, 88. That's also 8 months, 1 week, 1 day, like death, which equals 118. Now, in the same year, from Pope Leo's election to his dad's next death anniversary, 7/31 this year, is 84 days. Now, there's an actor who was in every single Final Destination movie. He died last year after making the movie, the last movie. He played the mortician, the strangely wise and all-knowing mortician that everybody went to in every movie to get advice from about how to beat the death loop. His name is Tony Todd, and he died at 69 also, I think. Yeah. Okay, so he had stomach cancer while doing the movie, and I don't know if you saw the movie, but if you did, you know that he looked very like a skeleton, very much like a skeleton, like he was on at death's door. And his last couple lines in the movie, he was allowed to improvise some lines, and so he said something along the lines of, cherish your last moments because you never know when your time is up. And then he exited a door with the word and number sub 2 on it, SUB and the number 2. So usually when there's letters and a number, I usually add up the letters and then multiply it by the number. So sub equals 42. So 42 times 2 would be 84, like Pope Leo and the date of the Jet Set roof collapse, which is represented by the roof and building collapse of the first scene in the movie. Okay, Tony died on 11/6 last year, the day Trump got elected. And that was 21 weeks, 6 days from the 4/8 Jet Set roof collapse. And Jet Set roof collapse equals 216. Again, that's Tony Todd died on 11/6, 21 weeks, 6 days from 4/8, which is when the Jet Set roof collapse happened, and Jet Set roof collapse equals 21/6. That's also 5 months, 2 days, like Pope equals 5/2, 52. Tony Todd's character his name in the movie was William John Bloodworth, which equals 249, just like Pope Leo XIV equals 249. William equals 79, like Trump's age this year. And Tony died on Trump's election date. John, his middle name, equals 47, like Trump is his 47th president, and like Trump equals 470 in Hebrew. And 47 is the 211 is the 47th prime number, and the Vatican was established on 211. His last name, Bloodworth, equals 123, like Pontifex Maximus, the original title of the Pope, equals 1230, and Pope equals 312. So from Leo's birthday, 9/14, last year, his 69th birthday, to Tony's death day, 11/6, was 7 weeks, 4 days, that 47 again. That's also 1 month, 23 days, that 123 again. Tony Todd was born on 12/4, like the reverse of 4/21, Pope Francis's death date. Tony was blah blah blah. From Tony's birth in 1954 to Leo's birth in 1955 was 9 months and 11 days, including the end date. And he was he was born in 54. Tony Todd was, like Pope Leo equals 504. From Tony's last birthday in Tony didn't have a birthday in 2024. What was I thinking? Come on. Yeah, alright, whatever. So then, if Tony was alive, then his birthday in 12/4/24 to Leo's election would be 5 months, 4 days. He was 69 years, 11 months, 2 days old. Again, like the date of the Vatican's establishment on 2/11, and how the Vatican is 96 years old. I gotta post something real quick. Let me see. There we go. All right. So from Tony's death date, 11/6 to 5/17, which was again the date in the first 2 movies of the accidents, and it was the Saturday between the release of Bloodlines and Leo's inauguration. That would have been 6 months, 11 days, just like Tony's death date, 11/6. That's also 192 days, and 192 is the all-important number I keep track of, which represents the mineral kingdom, the lake of fire. The Final Destination series was all about their little Easter eggs, their numbers, their little clues that they hid everywhere. Especially about Flight 180, which was the first accident, the blown up plane from the movie from 2000. And in every movie, they hid an Easter egg, an homage to Flight 180. In Final Destination Bloodlines, the first scene, they're driving a car to the building that ends up collapsing. And their car's license plate is FL818E. And if you pronounce that out, that's like flight FL8 180 18E. Now, if you calculate this license plate, FL equals 18. So 18 times 8 equals 144. And then you do the left section, E equals 5. So 18 times 5 equals 90. And then you multiply both products from each side. That's 144 times 90, which equals 12,960. And jet set roof collapse equals 1296 in English Gematria, which is 216 times 6. And 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. And also the left side of that license plate, 18.5, is the date of Leo's inauguration. The last name of the Spanish side of the family, Reyes, equals 580, like Leo's election date. Hold on, what the fuck was this? Alright. So, the girl who ends up escaping the collapse of the building, her name is Iris Campbell, which equals 329 in Hebrew and 119 in simple English gematria. That's 923 and 911. Both of the number 1, number 2 top numbers littered throughout the predictive programming of the Hollywood media, representing the end of the world, tragedy, death, and emergency. But not just, pointless death and chaos. It's the death and the chaos that works towards the enlightenment, that contributes to the order. Okay. Looks like Pennsylvania, my area, has a 9/11 outage right now. I guess if I wanted to call 911, speaking of 911, if I wanted to call it, I probably wouldn't be able to right now. That's what the alert I got on my phone was earlier, I guess. Okay. I wonder if there's some terrorist shit going on. That would be crazy because it's the 192nd day of the year. It'd be very, I expect that shit to happen anyway. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Okay, so if you take just her first name, Iris, that's 330 and 55, and 33 is obviously the third most important number to these elite occult subconscious programmers. 55 is Leo's birth year, and Iris is the one who births the bloodline that ends up having to escape death. This is all about Pope Leo's bloodlines. The main character's license plate, Stefani, who is 74. Her license plate is RFK 575, which is the same exact license plate that the jock kid had in the second movie, I think. He ended up getting killed by a train or something. I don't know. His car got smashed by a train. Anyway, it's the same exact license plate. The second half of that license plate, 575, if you do the 5 times 7 times 5, that equals 175, which is 17.5, the date of the accidents in the first two movies. And RFK Well, I haven't really got a full understanding of that part, but I'm assuming it has something to do with Robert F. Kennedy, who is in the government right now, and the airplane explosion that happened in the first movie, Flight 180, that happened at the JFK National Airport. So I don't know, could be connected. I don't know. But anyway, the guy who owned the license plate RFK 575 from the second movie, I think, Carter Holton, his name is, that equals 149, like Pope Leo's birthday. And Stephanie Reyes, the main character from this movie, equals 146, like Trump's birthday. And her dad, Marty Reyes, equals 149. And again, that's Leo's birthday. There was a folder that the grandmother, Iris, gave to the main character, Stephanie, in the movie. And there was a bookmark sticking out of the folder that says, Rise in House. House without the E. And that equals 581 and 137. 581 is Pope Leo's inauguration date backwards. And 137 equals the same as Raise the Roof. Raise spelled R-A-Z-E. And Raise the Roof is the phrase that I figured was related to the Jet Set nightclub collapse, because you know how they say raise the roof, like turn it up in a party. But raise means to, if you spell it with the Z, it means to take down. So when you say raise the roof, I think it's a very apt phrase to describe that situation there at the Jet Set nightclub, because it equals 137, which is the same value as April 3rd spelled out. And on April 3rd, they released these two shows about the same exact thing, which was The Bondsman on Amazon, which was about a vigilante anti-hero persona who was hired by Hell to hunt demons and stop Lilith from opening a portal to Hell on Earth. And the same day, April 3rd, what's it called? Devil May Cry was released on Netflix, an anime about the video game, about a demon hunter who's supposed to stop this powerful demon from opening a portal to Hell on Earth. And Devil May Cry also equals 137. And then on 4/4, the next day, a Minecraft movie was released, which is about the same exact thing. They have to stop this portal that's letting all these pig demons on Earth. They have to stop this portal. And it's about like structural integrity and shit, and master builders and master destroyers. Anyway, Iris equals 330, and 330 is the 200, sorry, no, that can't be right. 330 is not the 263rd prime number. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Alright, I guess I gotta go. I'll do another video soon. Love you guys. Seek clarity with love. What? You told me to come in.
I know. Lock the door.
That's not a very uncommon thing to happen.
I don't care.
It's happened in like it's recently happened in Pittsburgh. So it's nothing to worry about.
It happened in Florida 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's not doesn't mean anything's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure people figure out a way to take advantage of it somehow, but I don't think you're just gonna run into like crime just like that easy just because of that.
They barely put anything.
That looks good.
What do you want it?
Oops.